Hi, this is Jeff Lovett. I am coming to you today from my home office, and the reason that I'm here instead of in my studio today is because I'm starting a brand new series on how to use some of the tools that I've mentioned over the last several weeks in these videos and in person to a lot of my clients. The new how-to series will cover a lot of great programs and techniques that a lot of people have asked me to explain in a little bit more detail. So this is a little bit longer video, but today we're going to start with one of my favorite tools, and that is Mailchimp. Mailchimp is an email marketing program that for most users is free. You can have up to 2,500 people on your list. You can send up to 12,000 emails per month. Absolutely free, and it's very easy to use. It's a drag and drop interface, and it has some terrific reporting to let you know how many people opened up the emails, how many people clicked through and watched videos or went to other content. So I'm going to walk you through today on how to start with Mailchimp, and the very first thing you have to learn how to do is actually how to send a campaign. So during this video, I'm going to walk you through step by step exactly how to do that. So watch very carefully, take some notes if you need to, and we'll talk a little bit more on the other side. All right, when you first sign into your Mailchimp account, you'll get this dashboard, and this gives you all the different options that are available to you. You don't always have to create a campaign. You can check out templates, or you can work on your list and read reports about other campaigns that you've sent out. And even set up automation. We're not going to talk about these things. We're going to talk about this right here, which is just campaigns. Now that's mainly what people ask me about is how do I send a campaign. Another question. You have your choice of type of campaigns. You can read about these, but the regular campaign is what I normally use. If you just want to send a plain text that doesn't have any photos or anything, you can click on that one. But I typically send a regular campaign because I want to use one of the templates. So I'm going to select that as the campaign. Now it's going to ask me which list do I want to send this campaign to. I'm just going to send this email that I'm doing now to my test list. This is just an email that comes right back to me so I can test things, and only because I've already done this before and I don't want to send it again to everybody. So I'm going to choose my test list. It just basically tells you what to do next. At the bottom of the screen you'll notice recipient setup, templates, design, confirm. It tells you step by step what to do. All you have to do is click the next button if you're not sure where to go next. So just click next. I have chosen my list. Now it is going to open up the campaign information. I'm going to name my campaign. And here is one of the most important things for you to type in, and that is the email subject. This is so important because it's this email subject that helps determine who actually is going to open up the email. If this doesn't really grab their attention, then your email will just stay in their inbox until they delete it, and they'll never open it up and look at it. It doesn't help you at all if nobody reads your email. So this subject line is one of the most important parts of your campaign. It has to really captivate your audience. Think about what your audience wants from you. In my story, in this email newsletter, I'm using an illustration about RC Cola, which if you read the newsletter last week, you'll see what I'm talking about. And so I'm going to write something about RC Cola in this subject line. Hopefully when people see it, it'll make them go, wow, that's interesting. I sure would like to open up and read it. Hopefully if you're interested in knowing why companies don't do well or why marketing and advertising is so important, you read that line, it'll grab your attention. I'm just going to use all the defaults right now, and we're going to go to next. This is where you actually design your email. Now there's a ton of templates here, but I do want to remind you we have everything from what looks like a blog to a plain text to one that has spots for 4, 6, 10 videos or pictures. I do want to tell you that you're not bound to the way this is going to look exactly, because when we get to the next page and actually start designing it, you will be able to find out you can drag and drop stuff into any of these templates and rearrange the content. I like to have mine all have the same basic look, so I am using the same template over and over again. It's this number 2 one right here. I'm going to open that up. You'll notice on the left side is the preview. On the right side are all of the design elements. Any of these things, from box text to images with captions to videos, to buttons, to social shares, everything can be dragged just by grabbing a hold of them and dragging them over and putting them in the newsletter. I usually start at the top and work my way to the bottom. So I'm going to start up here and I'm just going to write my header. You'll notice when I click on it, it opens up on the side, and now I can just type over this. The great thing about Mailchimp, you don't have to have any design skills. You just either drag stuff over, you browse things like pictures of videos and insert it into your newsletter, or you just over type the things that are already there. So I'm just going to over type. This is the header. This is what people will see at the very top of the newsletter. All right, every time I do that and put anything over here, I have to save it to make sure it actually sticks over here. And there's all types of different things you can add to every single thing that you put over. Everything from links that you can add to changing the size and color of the text, the style of the text, etc. I like the default, so I'm just going to save it and leave it right there. So now it appears on the top. The next thing is a place for my image, and I'm not going to do anything with that yet. I'm going to add the video in just a moment. The next part that I like to work on next is typically the body. This is very important that what you say in here does two things. Number one, the heading grabs their attention, so they'll read it. Number two, the text that you include in your newsletter has to actually be able to stand alone. It's not just enough to have a great video and a headline. You've also got to explain to people that are just going to read it because they're too busy to watch the video what it's about. I'm going to change my headline. That's obviously not what I want. So here's my headline that people see when they open up the newsletter. Now I'm going to get rid of all this stuff because this is just filler. And it's going to tell you. Now that you select a template, you can start typing. And you can overtype anything, or like I'm doing, delete it, and then copy and paste it from another document maybe you've already written. Here is my headline, and here is my copy, and it appears over here on the left in my newsletter. This is where I put it together and build it, type it, create it. This is where it actually appears and what it's going to look like when people open it up. And let me just give you one word of advice here. This has got to be really good. If you don't tell a story and get people's attention in this text here, they're not going to want to read your future newsletters because it's boring. Spend some time writing a great headline and thinking about what it is that you want to say in here. So now it's done. I can change, like I said, if I wanted to change the way this looks as far as the typeface, I can go in here and choose a different font style. You know, I can change it to any of these if I want to. Automatically makes an adjustment right there. You need to read this before you send it to make sure you don't have any typos. The worst thing you could have in a newsletter is a bunch of mistakes and typos. The next thing I usually add right here is the video. So I'm not going to use this. This is a place for an image, so I'm going to erase it. If you want to get rid of anything on your newsletter, just hit the trash box and it's going to ask you, are you sure? Yep, and it's gone. Now I'm going to drag over a video. So I'm going to drag it over here and just put it in that spot. And it's asking me for the video URL, which is what you would copy and paste from, say, YouTube. So I'm going to go to my YouTube channel right now. There's my channel right here. Let's see, that's the one right there, Toughest Marketing Problems. There's the link. I copy that. Bam, now I've got the link. I've got the actual the video URL for YouTube. I'm going back to Mailchimp, and I'm going to paste it right there. And it is going to put that video right here in my newsletter magically. Now you notice down below the video or below the picture that you might put in is a place to actually put in a caption. And you edit it over here. Remember, this is what it looks like. This is where you make the actual edits. What you want to put below your video or below your picture is something that tells a little bit about what the video is, because people are going to read that before they watch the video to see if it's something that interests them. All right, so now I've typed in the caption that's going up under my video. This tells a little bit about what the video is about. So I'm happy with all this. Of course, I could change, the text, the color, you name it. But it looks great, just the way it is. So I'm going to click Save and Close. All right, so my email is pretty much done now. I just have to put the legal stuff on the bottom. You have to put something at the end of your newsletter that lets people know where it's coming from, how to unsubscribe, or otherwise it is considered to be spam. So I'm going to put my stuff here at the end, who it's coming from, my mailing address. You want to have that in there. Now they know how to write you, where you're located, etc. And I always put my telephone number on these. You never know when someone might go to the bottom and say, hey, this guy is an absolute marketing genius. I can't wait. I've got to call him right now. The great thing about Mailchimp is I don't have to worry about it manually taking people off my list if they send me an email saying take me off. If they click on unsubscribe, it's going to automatically remove them from the list where they don't get it anymore. It doesn't erase them off the list. It just opts them out. You still have their contact information. It just no longer includes them in the list. All right, so I'm done. That looks great. Save and close. I check it one more time before you actually send it out. Read through it one more time just to make sure. It's hard to catch your own typos, so read through it. Make sure you got everything right. Next thing I do is I click on Next, and here's where you actually send it. It says I'm all set to send. It'll tell me who I'm sending it to, what the subject line is, how people reply to me. It automatically going to track all the things that go out. Now, if you want to send it immediately, all you do is click the send button, and it'll send it right now to everybody in your list instantaneously. I don't do that because I usually do mine several days in advance. I send out my newsletters on Thursday, but I actually create them typically either over the weekend or like on a Monday or Tuesday, and I schedule it to go out at a specific time. I like Thursday because that's the best, most successful day for getting people to open your email is a Thursday. So I'm going to schedule this, and I can choose whatever date I want it to go out. Now, I'm doing this on a Sunday, so let's say I wanted to go, let's just send it to myself tomorrow. I'm going to send the test. I get to choose the time. I'm going to send it out at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Now, all I have to do to make it go is to hit the schedule the campaign button. And when you do this, it's going to be scheduled and it's going to go. So are you sure? Yep, I'm ready. Schedule campaign. I'm looking for the monkey paw to give me a high five to let me know I've done everything right. So schedule. And there it is. We're ready to go. Everything you need to know about sending an email campaign in Mailchimp. Well, I hope you took some notes, that you paid attention. Using Mailchimp is a terrific way to increase the marketing exposure for your business. And like I said, it is free for most users as long as you don't have a huge list. Now, if you have some more questions about Mailchimp, whether it's about how to send an actual campaign or maybe how to get your list together, there's a box in this email. You'll see that little Ask Me a Question box here below. Just click on that. It'll send me an email. You can ask a question, or I'll be glad to come by in person and walk you through more details on how to do some of these things. Now, we're going to continue our how-to series in next week with another great program I love called Hootsuite. Hootsuite is a must-have app for anyone that does social marketing. If you use social media such as Facebook and Twitter, things like that, Hootsuite actually allows you to do all your social media posts for the entire week at one time. I use it. I love it. I do a lot of social media, and I do all of it in just a few minutes on like a Sunday afternoon, and I'm finished for the entire week. I'm going to walk you through and show you exactly how to set up Hootsuite and how to use it in our next how-to video next time. So I hope you'll tune in, and hey, thank you very much for watching today.